Welcome into Eye on Northeast Kansas, the podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Bruner. This is where we recap the top interviews you saw on Eye on Northeast Kansas, the TV show. You can watch it streaming live Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock Central Time from our WIBW TV studios in Topeka, Kansas. We love having our local elected officials on the show. It gives us a chance to ask questions about a whole range of issues. Shawnee County Commissioner Aaron Mays was the latest to stop in. We talked about all sorts of things, including Parks and Rec and a new survey where they want to hear from you. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
This is part of Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. What is that? What does that mean?
Well, so it is a plan that we are working on along with some outside entities to try and identify where we need safety improvements in our transportation network in Shawnee County. So, and that is, I think when people think transportation, they typically think cars on roads, and that is a component of this. It's a large component, but it's also looking at bicycle safety, pedestrian safety, wheelchair accessibility, and even bus routes as well. So it is part of the Safe Streets and Roads for All program. And so we are doing a survey right now, and then once that survey is complete, we'll have public meetings, open house type things in June, and then that will go into the plan, which will hopefully help us to apply for some of these federal grants and things that are available, so we can make Shawnee County a safer place to travel.
What are some of the unique considerations when it comes to county roads as opposed to our city streets?
So what makes county roads a little bit different than city streets? Number one, a lot of them are maintained by townships, and so they're not actually maintained by Shawnee County or a city. And so that's a little bit different. It's a totally different taxing entity that maintains a lot of those roads. Also, we don't have storm sewers and gutters in most of our roads. We've got ditches, and so there are some more rural aspects out there. We've got flooding concerns. We have over 200 bridges in Shawnee County. Some of them are over 100 years old, and so we are constantly working to fix things like that. Some of them are a little too narrow, especially when you look at farming implements and how much they're bigger now than they used to be. So there's a lot outside of the city limits, but this would also incorporate the city as well.
So when we think about the city of Topeka, they talked a lot in recent years about complete streets and how when they would plan a street improvement project, they would accommodate for not just sidewalks and curbs and gutters, but also we see streets now with bike lanes, with bus lanes. To what extent is that even possible or even under consideration on some of our county areas? We have some county neighborhoods where it would sound like something to do, but
right. Well, I'm not an expert in all things transportation, so I don't have all the answers on this. But this, from what I understand, this program is specifically designed for safety. That is also the complete streets, I believe, takes a lot of other factors into consideration in terms of how long it takes you to get places, the modes in which people travel. This is 100% dedicated to safety, though.
And I imagine, to what extent do you balance out? You said there is some federal funding that perhaps could be available, and how do you balance out cost versus what people say they're going to want? I mean, for example, is it really practical to think we're going to be able to widen every single road in the county to accommodate two-way traffic, plus bikes, plus extra space for X, Y, or Z?
Well, we do our best to try and accommodate for future growth in Shawnee County. So that's why occasionally you'll see a road that looks like it's a little wider than it needs to be, because it has been designated as kind of a growth area. And so we anticipate that there will be more traffic there eventually. It is good, in my opinion, to have a little bit more of a proactive approach and then not have to shut down a busy part of town after it's already busy so that we can do construction. So I don't know. Did that answer the question?
It did. Because it's wonderful to say, well, we want this for every single road in our county. But at the end of the day, is it a road that gets 200 cars or 2 cars a day? And so what's the investment there? Not that not everyone deserves to be safe, but you do have to look at some of those factors, because otherwise we're all going to be paying bajillion dollars in taxes, and no one wants that either.
Right. And the people that live nearby projects are always the most affected. And so people do get pretty passionate about stuff.
You mean like how I can't get through to the restaurant I like to go through to on Northwest 46th because, yeah.
Well, so that was an issue, obviously.
But you did respond. And I guess when we talk about safety, that does show how the county is listening and respond. Because when you talk about that Northwest 46th project, there was a detour that took people up to 62nd. Neighbors expressed concerns about, should there be a stop sign here? Should there not be a stop sign here? And there was an adjustment that was made.
Right. The big concern there was crossing Highway 75. And after hearing the neighbors' concerns up there, and not even the neighbors, but it's a busy road. I mean, 46th is really a thoroughfare in North Topeka. And so we wanted to address some of those safety concerns. And so we did change the detours to try and reroute people back down to 46 to go around the construction and get back to 46th Street so that they can go under Highway 75 rather than across it.
As we talked about safety on streets, but now let's talk a little bit of fun. It is Parks and Rec, busy season. The tulips are out, which is really the main thing going on right now.
It is tulip time. So every year we do thousands and thousands of tulips in Shawnee County parks. And so two big events happening starting today in Shawnee County that all have to do with tulips. So
tonight's Tulips at Twilight at
right.
Ward Mead, and then tomorrow's the Tulip Festival out at Lake Shawnee. By the way, it's Gerald Binkley tulip time, and I found a story from our archives from 1989 with Mr. Binkley, the late Gerald Binkley. So if you're wondering how it got its name, we're doing that. You can go online and see that right now. But it's not just tulip time. This kind of kicks off the busy season for Parks and Rec. How are we doing on staffing, and how many people do you still want to hire to get all the things done that happen over the summer?
So hiring for summer help is something that we do a lot of. We ramp up big time at Parks and Rec over the summer. And so our number one need right now is lifeguards. Swimming pools are a big part of our quality of life in the summertime in Shawnee County. And if we don't have lifeguards to man those pools, they can't open. Like just legally from a, it's not safe, we can't open it. So if you know anyone that is over 15 years old, that's a pretty good swimmer, we'd like to have them come be a lifeguard for us.
What kind of other qualifications, other than being over 15, are there any special certifications, or if they don't have the certifications, are you assisting in getting them?
We do provide the certifications, so CPR training, the lifeguard certifications, all done by Parks and Rec. And
do they have to pay for that?
No, that is something that we cover. And so anyone who is, if you've got a teenager that's been on the swim team before, or you're a college student that's home for the summer, go to our website, snco.gov, and apply for a job. But it's not just lifeguards. I should say we're looking for concession staff. We're looking for people to mow grass. We're looking for people to work at the golf courses, camp counselors. You name it, we've got a lot of summer jobs. And so I would encourage anybody who is looking for something part-time or full-time right now to give us a look.
How are our parks looking, and do we have any plans for the future development when it comes to our parks?
Well, the big story lately has been Gage Park.
Right.
So not Animal Land.
Not
right?
Animal Land, the other playland.
Animal Land is the part with the concrete animals. That is staying. There's nothing changing there. But the playground next to it, right behind the train station, we have removed almost everything there, and we are doing a complete renovation. And this is all paid for by the Gage Park Improvement Authority, which was voted on by the voters a couple of years ago. And so we're getting a brand new playground there, and it's exciting. I mean, it's the one that we're putting in is going to be really cool.
And one development about it that was exciting too is you recently made some modifications so that part of that aerial trail is actually going to be fully accessible to people of all abilities.
Yeah, so we've made a heavy effort, I would say, in Shawnee County to make most of our parks, anytime we make modifications, we want it to be as accessible as possible. And that includes wheelchairs and everything else. So we did add on the Sky Trail, which was not initially designed as ADA compliant. We did add a portion to it, to the north side of it, that will be wheelchair accessible. So that is pretty cool. You will be able to take wheelchairs up into the canopy.
I can't wait to see it. Commissioner Aaron Mays, appreciate you. Thanks for all of those updates. A lot going on in Shawnee County.
Yeah.
From the county to the city, Topeka City Manager Robert Perez was on the red couch with us. He was talking about the various ways the city of Topeka has for citizens to get to know a little bit more about how their government operates. We also, while we had him, asked him the latest on Hotel Topeka. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
And then we are kind of kicking into high gear for this month, especially for Public Works. And why not just show people what Public Works does at this time of year? We're talking about Citizens Academies.
Right. Our Public Works Citizens Academy just kicked off a couple weeks ago. We host a number of academies to include one for our police or for TPD. And then I think you also had an opportunity to speak with some of our firefighters regarding Camp Courage a few days ago. So it's just another opportunity, the Public Works Academy, to share with our community the different facets of Public Works, how to fill a pothole, how to report a pothole, traffic signals, construction, things of that nature. And it's just a series of academies that we hold for our residents.
Why is it so important, do you think, for people to take advantage of these opportunities and really get this kind of a look?
So number one, a lot of times, sometimes folks don't understand some of the processes that are in place. And then also too, contacts within the departments, they definitely know how to report a lot of these issues that they see. And then also too, a lot of our residents turn out to be some of our biggest advocates. They'll come out and share with their residents or share with their neighbors, share with their family members how to do certain things, whether it's reporting things to the city or sometimes even explaining processes for them.
I imagine it can be very important too when you talk about things like the budget and what decisions to make, and do we need to invest more in terms of, a lot of times that means taxes or fees, to really know where your money's going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even just, hey, why does that street get picked and this one doesn't? I've been on the list for 25 years, and so the folks who participate in these academies actually get a lot of those answers, and again, sometimes turn out to be some of our biggest advocates.
You're also bringing young people in again this summer. What is that program all about?
Yeah, the Topeka Way to Work program. We actually kicked off orientation, I think, a week and a half ago. Last week, and then over the weekend we had interviews for, I think we're trying to recruit up to 30 teenagers between the ages of 14 and 16 to kind of give them their first look at work. We are going to host a number of those kids within the city of Topeka, but there's also partners across the city, private businesses that are going to host some of these teens as well.
Are the interviews all done?
The interviews are, we wrapped up yesterday.
So really people need to get looking for this kind of late winter if they want to get their young people, their teens involved.
So we typically do it over the summer when they're out of school, and so.
But the applications would go out?
The applications actually started, I think this year we started in March.
Oh my goodness.
And so the kids will be starting in mid-June and completing towards the end of July.
Well, Topeka.org is where you find information on things like this program, the Citizens Academies, and then you'll keep up to date on the timeline for all of that. You also have something very important coming up this summer. We talked about it a little bit at your last Mayor City Manager News Conference, this involving Fort Riley, bringing soldiers and their spouses who are transitioning out of the military to Topeka.
Right. Yeah, so we actually have a date now, July 17th.
Okay.
We strategically picked that date so that in addition to all the educational, housing, and career opportunities that we have here, the soldiers and their spouses will have an opportunity to participate in Topeka, Fiesta Topeka. And so in addition to all those great things that we offer, we want to also be able to share a little bit of our culture with these soldiers to really give them a good glimpse and to really showcase the things that Topeka has to offer anybody who wants to move and live here.
It is always fun when you say to someone, how did you end up in Topeka? And they'll tell you it was through the military.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do need to ask you about Hotel Topeka because governing body agendas have been released for their upcoming meetings, and there's going to be another funding request. So people see the funding request, they wonder, why is that? But then also, when are we going to sell this thing?
Right. So the why for the funding request is, number one, we're contractually obligated to have a certain dollar amount in operating expenses for the hotel. We do own the assets, so we do need to keep the lights running, and we need to keep it operational because we still do sell rooms. It sells out, gets close to selling out during some of our major events, and so while we do own it, we do need to keep the lights running. As far as selling it, I will just say that we are very close. We have, I think, as been reported before, we have 6 offers on the table. We're close. I will tell you that Selling the hotel is one of my FY 2025 strategic goals, and I'll just say that we're close, and stay tuned.
You're going to stay tuned, like how soon? We're talking like July, you'll have something for the governing body?
We're talking like stay tuned. Stay tuned. Yeah.
We're tuned. We're here. City Manager Dr. Robert Perez, appreciate you bringing us the update. It's not just our city and state leaders who come in for a visit. We also have our statewide elected officials. And this is a busy month for Kansas State Treasurer Stephen Johnson. He has been visiting with people of all ages, giving them a little insight into how the state treasurer's office can help them learn a bit more about their money. April is Financial Literacy Month. He told us about resources they have to offer that can help people plan and understand. Welcome to you.
Great to be here.
And you have been doing a lot during Financial Literacy Month. You were with some students. So what is the message when you meet with students about the importance of financial literacy?
Well, it is the same at any age. So during Financial Literacy Month, which I know everyone celebrates robustly.
Of course.
There is America Saves Week, and at americasavesweek.org, there's some really basic tools for folks who are looking on how to get started. But one of the great things here in Topeka is many of our high schools have school banks. Mm-hmm. So it's a great message on saving at any age. And the students at Washburn Rural were at J. Scheidler Elementary on Friday, and the bank students had put together a class for each of the elementary classes that they presented to those kids about needs and wants and how you apply resources. So it was really fun to see how they worked and what they did. And those school banks are so exciting to see, not only for the really talented students that are running them, but even the hundreds of students that otherwise would not have opened an account before they had that opportunity.
So like a morning cup of coffee for $2 might be something you need to have to get your day started. A $10 to $15 fancy coffee drink is a life choice. That's a want.
You've got it down exactly.
And that really is how you probably put it into terms for young people.
That is. So, and that would have been a great high school class, in that they do have a great coffee shop there as well. And the price range is wide ranging. It was a little more basic on the choices for the folks in first grade.
So what are some like basic tools that you can help people if they have no idea where to start? I mean, we were talking a little bit before laughing about it's tax season and meeting the deadline.
Yeah.
Who understands what all those forms mean?
Taxes are tough. Please don't have to start there. That would be very hard. But the americasavesweek.org site is a place to start. But it is as complicated or as simple as you want to try and make it. Just setting a little aside each month, wherever you're able to do that, is the way to start. And doing something is important. And Eisenhower talked about having a plan is key, but it's going to change. And the market volatility has shown us that if you are taking more risk in your portfolio. But just starting to save somewhere, whether it's your local bank or with a financial advisor or online, there are tools that are available to help people better understand what is out there.
And you have tools through the State Treasurer's Office for people really of all abilities and families that have family members of all abilities. You were just out at the Topeka Zoo today for Dialogue Abilities Day with Capper Foundation, because you have something specific that families of folks who have differing abilities can do.
Right. So each set of goals has that opportunity. So within the community of those that are disabled, there are so many. So we have the ABLE program, which specifically is a way to save. And so we had Abilities Day at the zoo with the Capper Foundation, which was just a great day. I actually learned more from other families and what they've done and what they were able to figure out how to do. We offer a class through the Treasurer's Office every Wednesday evening at 7 and every Friday morning at 10 for any family members that would want to learn more and say, what is this and how might I start to learn how to get my arms around the options I have with those that are disabled. It's also Able to Save Month, and the last Tuesday we had a call nationally about our partnerships with the Kansas Council on Developmental Disabilities and others on how we get the word out, and thanks to you for helping us get the word out on programs.
Well, we appreciate you being here. If people want to find out what is specific to the State Treasurer's Office, where do they go to find your website and things about like the ABLE account and other options?
So treasurer.chaos treasure.ks.gov will give our website. If you go to savings programs, all of those tools are there. It goes through the 529. We're coming up on 529 Day on May 29th, so that's for general education
I get
planning.
how that works, 5
I tell
to
you,
9.
yes.
Yeah,
so
that's very
all of
clever.
these things that are there, but each is just a tool that someone might be able to use to start saving. And we also have a program now on women and money. Last year was in Kansas City. This year is in Wichita. Next year we'll be back on this side of the state. And it's been fun to reach out more through our sponsors who are amazing at giving us good content. And we hope to have more of that on the site as well.
Perfect. And AmericaSavesWeek.org if you want some of those other tips. Now, State Treasurer Stephen Johnson, appreciate you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Again, visit the State Treasurer's Office website so you can find out more about those programs. And something that really is separate from financial literacy, but I always like to give it a little plug, you know, they are holding millions of dollars in unclaimed property, and they want to get it back to you if any of it belongs to you. So while you're on that website, do a quick little search, see if you have any money coming your way. It could be maybe some stocks you didn't know you had, maybe a utility deposit you made way back in college that they couldn't find you to get it back to you. All of those things, banks and other institutions are required to turn them over every so often. The state holds on to them, and just do a search. See if your name pops up. Ladies, if you've been married and changed your name, make sure you search your maiden name as well. A lot of states have this kind of information online. You can search for it for free. So if there's a site out there trying to charge you money to do this kind of search, remember, you can find it all for free on your State Treasurer's Office website. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, a little bit more about some community resources to improve access to mental health. Welcome back to the Eye on Northeast Kansas podcast. You know, we host a lot of guests in our studio, but it's not often that a segment with 3 guests has all 3 guests sharing the same first name. If you are looking for assistance and help in the southeast part of Topeka, all you need to do is ask for Tricia or Trisha or Tricia. 3 ladies that share a first name, all are part of the common mission for Sent Topeka. Tricia Sublette, Tricia McCourt, and Tricia Ogier-Duval joined us to talk about what Sent Topeka is doing to really make over the southeast side of town. Welcome to all of you. And you said it's confusing yet simple when people call. Yeah. Just make sure you get to the right one. Tricia, a lot is going on at the Family Resource Center. What is the overall concept that Sent had when you were founded, 2018, many years ago now?
So we built a one-stop shop, and our goal is to reduce barriers so families could get their needs met. So by putting multiple things in one building, if families come to get something, for example, if they stop by our food pantry, they also can talk to our neighbor advocacy team. They could stop by our clinic. It just reduces some of those barriers by allowing them to get multiple needs met in one spot.
And bringing resources to the people. That is amazing. A lot of them have to do with community wellness, Tricia, and that's where you come in. What is your role when it comes to some of those wellness programs that they have at Sent?
Okay, so I do the substance use treatment and then also neighbor advocacy, which is otherwise known as case management, but we prefer to not use those words and work
advocacy is a good word to describe what you do. Help families kind of unite and really lift them up. The substance use is a whole year-long campaign. What are you all going to be doing throughout this year?
So each month we're highlighting something different on the social media, and we also launched a private Facebook group for folks in recovery to support them and just encourage them in their journey on recovery. So.
Stress is the theme this month, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we all need to deal with that. And really, it's twofold. It's not just helping people recover, but also preventing it in the first place. How do you work to do that?
So we encourage people to get connected to mental health resources, physical health resources, just all the things that they might not be doing to take care of themselves. And sometimes it's just really difficult to do that when you are not in a good headspace. So
all of that leads into the third Tricia's role, because you're in charge of something that really recently launched, the Southside Wellness Clinic. What do you all offer there?
Yes, so the clinic opened in January. We are a kind of a stop gap or bridge. So we don't actually function as primary care. We offer a lot of express care services. It's a place to stop into for a quick antibiotic, UTIs, upper respiratory infections. We do well woman's care as well by scheduled appointment. So if a woman needs to come in for their yearly exam, we can assist with that and contraceptive care also.
What has the reception been to the clinic, and really why did you create it? What was the need that you saw?
So I started as a volunteer back in August with Scent, and I was only there a couple days a week, but I could see that there was absolutely a need. You know, when the pantry was open, folks would stop in and ask questions, or just, you know, say, hey, I couldn't get into my doctor this week, can you get me in? And so I think there certainly is a need in East Topeka for us to have something that is accessible, and with all of the other resources we have in the building at Scent, it certainly is easy for folks just to pop in and have their needs met.
And really, you hit the nail on the head with the word accessibility, because that's, I think, the common thread that there is in everything, because we haven't even talked about housing support, education services, things that you're doing for the youth. Why is accessibility the common thread here when it came to the needs that we're seeing in the High Crest neighborhood and bringing things in for the folks who live there?
So one of the things we value is listening to our community. And so many of the things that we added is simply because we heard the need that the community said, this is what we need. We asked lots of questions, and they said, oh, we really wish we had a chiropractor. So we said, okay, that's what we're going to go after. We're going to get a chiropractor here. So really it's about what the community has expressed that they need. And then we said, okay, we can add that here easily enough by partnering or figuring out a way to add that service to our building.
What is the difference you all have already seen it make?
Oh, how do you even capture that in a few words?
Well, we did a story a couple weeks ago just from the safety aspect. You know, when people buy into the neighborhood, know their neighbors, and really feel like they have ownership and a say, it makes things safer.
Yeah.
Yes, plus we're a transportation desert, and so having the resources locally, and they don't have to go outside of the neighborhood for several different resources, it definitely makes a difference in their family.
I imagine for wellness as well. If you can't drive your child to the doctor, you're not going to go to the doctor.
Right, and you know, a lot of folks just can't afford to take off all day. Those bus rides are monstrous sometimes. It's immense to get across town and make it home before the kids get home, and so we are happy to be available. And we're, you know, we've got evenings when we're there as well for people when they can't get off work early.
I think families find it's a safe place.
Yes.
And so they come there, they feel welcome, they feel cared for, they feel like we treat them with dignity, and so they stick around for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing.
You can learn all about Scent and everything that they do by heading to scenttopeka.com. Follow their Facebook page, a lot of updates there as well. Tricia, thank you so very much. Appreciate you all being here. Obviously, we enjoyed our time with that trio, and there is so much that Scent Topeka is doing, and we get the information out to you and help you get to know a little bit more on not just Eye on Northeast Kansas, but our newscasts have been profiling some of the great work Scent Topeka is doing. Those three ladies, Tricia, and Trisha, are leaders in their community. Leadership Greater Topeka is developing even more leaders, and really people of all ages are involved in the LGT program. Michelle Cuevas Stubblefield of the Greater Topeka Partnership, she leads Leadership Greater Topeka for GTP. She stopped in to let us know about this latest Best Class Ever. She is here, and we mentioned it's an old logo. That's because it's from my year, the Best Class Ever.
The Best Class Ever.
The Best
Yes,
Class Ever
absolutely.
2011. That was the
Absolutely.
logo back then. And we're not old, so it's not an old logo.
No,
It's
not
a
at all. It's one of the best
retro,
logos.
classic. Yeah. What is that joke? Why does everybody say they are the best class ever? And this 41st class.
year. I think a lot of times when you get 36 people who've never really met each other, they bond, they learn about Topeka, they learn about all the things that they can do, and they build their capacity to lead. The relationships that they have last a lifetime, and they become the best class ever.
And you really walk out of Leadership Greater Topeka feeling like you are so empowered to make the world and the community better than it was the year before you started.
When I went through the class, I
was when?
experienced that 2001.
Wow.
A long time ago. However, people find it really monumental because they realize kind of what their strengths are, the things that they bring to the table, that anybody can lead anytime, anywhere. It's an activity, it's not an authority. And once they realize that in themselves, they blossom. And they realize all the things that they can accomplish for the community and themselves.
What is the program for those who aren't familiar? What has this class been doing and for how long?
It's a 41-year program. They go through 9 sessions.
They haven't been all 41 years.
No, not 41 years. But the session itself is about 5 months or 9 sessions. They will learn adaptive leadership concepts. They will learn the ins and outs of Topeka. They'll learn how they can get involved, civic engagement and otherwise. And then they build a lifelong network that throughout their career they can rely upon.
When do you take applications then for the next class?
We take the applications on August 1st of every year. We have a nomination process, an application process, and then we select 36 people for the program.
So coming up, you're going to have a graduation.
Yes.
First of all, talk about the graduation part of it. What's going to happen?
The graduation is pretty special because we've also have a gala where we honor 5 individuals who are alum who have continued to exhibit leadership in the community as well as a business partner. And then we'll have the graduation, and this year it's Bridgerton style, so everybody will get all dressed up and enjoy it with that theme in mind.
Very fun. And it also is a fundraiser for the program. Why is it so important that this continue on? I mean, I can't imagine over 41 years, if you take that time, however many people have been through it, just the influence that it's had.
Yes, we have over 1,000, but what we find out is a lot of times people have the opportunity to really speak with their core group, which is about 6 individuals, and then say, hey, here's a challenge I've always wanted to have, or I have and I've not been able to solve, or here's what I'm thinking about. You'll see people who run for office, who decide to become mayor, or join city council, or start a business. They did that because they gained some leadership concepts. They learned what Topeka was all about and how they can get involved. And then they had friends and colleagues who challenged them in their thought process to go ahead and take the risk and do something.
Where were you working in 2001 when you went through the program?
I was working at Jones Hewitt Partners, I think.
So in advertising and marketing.
Yeah, I was in advertising
and how
and
full
marketing.
circle is this for you? How much does it mean to you to have gone through the program and now be the one leading it?
You know what, I feel completely honored because I fell in love with Topeka at that time. I learned what I was capable of. I continue to hone those leadership concepts and demonstrate those hopefully in the best way possible for the common good of the community. So to be able to kind of pass that on and work with new energy, both aspiring and established leaders, I consider it pretty special.
It is. It is very special. It is very. I just like as you were talking, got back to thinking about what our group project was. It was Protect Your Bods. It was a safety thing on Washburn's campus. It was so fun. Anyhow, Leadership Greater Topeka's graduation for this 41st class is coming up May 16th. They're going to hold the event at Prairie Band Casino and Resort in Mayetta, a gala celebration honoring folks as well. Go to topekapartnership.com on the events page, and you can get your tickets right now to support this great program and the retro logo from 2011.
Absolutely.
Michelle, appreciate you.
Thank you.
You know, as I mentioned, I was part of the 2011 LGT class, and I will tell you, it was so much fun, great people, and it really just goes to show there is always something more to learn about the community in which you live, and it always inspires you to want to do more to make your part of the world and the community at large a little bit better than the way you found it. Glad you could be with us. Remember, you can see the video from all of these segments as well as all of our guests on ION Northeast Kansas when you log on to WIBW.com. I also share the links on my Facebook page, which is WIBW Melissa Bruner. You can catch our studio selfies while you're there as well. Thanks so much for listening in. Until next time, we'll see you on the Red Couch.